Good morning, students. Today we are entering into another stage of growth of human society. We concentrate at present mainly in the female growth in the field of education. You know, you have reached class 7. Some of you might have studied LKG, UKG, first standard and come to 7th standard. Some of you might have directly entered into first standard and come. Whatever the situations, it is normal for most of us, all of us, to go to school. But we know, still, after 75 years of independence, all the Indians are not literate. Literate means ability or able to read any one language and write that language and do little calculations, that is arithmetic. We call it 3 R's: read, write and arithmetics. It is not the spelling of writing, the sound. Read, write and arithmetic. So these 3 R's: read any language. It is not necessary that you should be able to read English or French or German or anything. Any language that is accepted in the world. And you are able to write that language. And able to do some arithmetic, means addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. If you are able to do these things, you are called a literate person. But we know in India, still there are people who are not able to read and write. But calculations, some may be excellent. If you go to village people, you can see them, they keep their hand and calculate, multiply, divide, and excellently they will do it. We may not be able to do that much. It may take for us a lot of time because we write down, multiply, divide. They will be able to say correctly without much effort. So education, going to school, is an important matter in the present day world. But you think about 100 years. In the past, the skill of reading writing was known only to few people. They were called educated people. In Indian society, it was said to be the Brahmins. And traditionally in the home, the children were taught what the elder members of the family was doing. If the elder members of the family was making bricks, the youngsters also learned how to make bricks. If the elder members of the family was making pots, they learned how to make pots. If the elder members of the family learned how to do fighting, the youngsters also learned fighting. But it was very rare that traditional activities of the family were taught to girls. Fighting, boys, carpentry, boys, pottery, boys, blacksmith, goldsmith, everything boys. The traditional job techniques were not given to the girls. Girls were not invited to be with the person who takes care of the technical problems of the work. So, the male members, the sons were taught to read and write, but daughters were not allowed to read and write. The concept was that daughter will go to some other house. Why should we teach a daughter and send to some other house? The son inherits the right of the family, so the son should get. A narrow, selfish minded thinking of the people created such kind of situations. You must understand selfishness. Others should not learn, others should not get. If my daughter is educated, if I send her to other family in marriage, that family will get the knowledge of that and they will progress. That shouldn't happen. It's a wrong concept and wrong thinking that has held up the girls from learning the traditional job and learning the alphabets, everything. So that is a situation you must understand. So even otherwise women were given supportive role only. If you go to a pottery area, women used to bring the mud, mix it and hand over to the person who makes the pot. The women were not permitted to sit on the potter's wheel and rotate the wheel and shape the material. It is only meant for the male members or the next generation person who has to take over the rights. You see the social stigma, social situations. Now we know girls are permitted to take up any job, they are going everywhere in defense, everywhere they are there. You think about 100 years ago, can't even imagine. That you must understand. In 19th century, new ideas about education and learning emerged in European societies and different societies. Education and learning. Reading and writing. That is important. Families began to think that my boy or a girl should get education. But very less in number. That is a normal tendency in the human brain to have a change. We are not ready to accept the change. And if some changes, let other person experience that change, and if there is no problem because of that change, I may agree with the change. So with reluctance, some people were ready to take a risk. Some people were ready to accept the things. They began to make their girls also to have education. Many men who were considering women as equal members of the society, they thought of opening schools for girls. You see, the men agreed to support. He understood that it is very good to have education for girls also. So, reading, writing, and arithmetics were introduced for girls also. Schools were opened for girls. Now we will go back to a real story. The lady named Reshundari Devi. She was born in West Bengal in the 1800 and died in 1890. She lived around 90 years. At the age of 60, she wrote her autobiography in Bengali language, in Bangla. You see, at the age of 60, but we would appreciate her because she learned how to write and read after marriages, after the first son was born. That is what we are going to understand. And she lived during a period when the society had a belief that if the wife is educated, husband would die fast. And naturally, when a husband dies, the lady becomes widow. The family of the boy would be unhappy because their son will die early. So it will be a sad event for them. See, a society having a superstitious belief, a society having a thinking that if girl is educated, it might have happened that one lady was educated and her husband died. Those things are normal in the life, but the persons who are against these kind of changes will propagate that this, see, there it has happened because that lady was educated. That is the reason why the boy died early. It may have no relationship with the reality, and it will have no relationship with the reality. But the person who speaks creates a tension and pain and trouble in the mind of the people. So those who are willing to send their daughters for education will have a doubt. If that happens, what to do? So that is the situation. Anyway, Reshundari Devi, after her first son's birth, she started to learn Bangala language. And the first known autobiography by an Indian woman was written by her. The name of the autobiography is Amar Jiban. I hope you know what is autobiography. Biography means the story of a person. If I am writing the biography of Mahatma Gandhi, it becomes biography. Mahatma Gandhi has written his own book, his own story. We know the name of it. My experiments with the truth. That is known as autobiography. If I write my story myself, it becomes autobiography. If somebody else writes my story, it becomes biography. There is only difference. So Amar Jiban is an autobiography. That means a story of Reshundari Devi. In most of the biographies, naturally the death of the person may be recorded. But in autobiography, it is not possible. We know that. Because after death, we cannot write. So that is a difference. Autobiography. See, we will see what is Reshundari Devi. She has read the first book that is said to be read by her is Chaitanya Bhagavat. Chaitanya Bhagavat is the book that she wrote, she read the first time. She used to sit along with her son to study, because son was going to school and coming back. Naturally, we know mothers will be sitting, helping, guiding the sons or daughters to write and study. So when the son was writing and studying, she also got interested to see how he is doing. And nobody in the family should come to know that Reshundari is learning, because that would may bring bad impression to the husband, and husband may die early. So that feeling is there, should be done so secretly. So nobody in the family should know that she was learning. Such a way she did. So, and you know, earlier in the home there will be plenty of work. So along with the work, by teaching along with son, she started to learn alphabet. You know, those who have gone to LKG classes, you will be taught standing line, sleeping line, slanting line, half circle, full circle. Then you are asked to, then you learn how to write the alphabets. Here nothing of that, nobody teaches. She looks at the drawings of her son. It is a drawing, because no meaning can be applied to anything. So then she learned and wrote the book. That is what Reshundari Devi has done. So because of that effort, we learn about her, we know that she has written a book. So how much struggle and effort, because public, the members in the family, even husband himself should not come to know. That is situation. There she has taken care, and she has studied it, alphabets, and wrote the book in Bengali language. We will come to see another lady, Rokia Shekhawat Hossain. She was born in 1888 and 1932. You know, Muslim families usually they are permitted to learn only Urdu. No other languages, and especially English was not at all thinkable aspect for them. Into that, she learns how to write English. The family supported her later. And she wrote a book named Lady Land. There she dreams. Everything is controlled by the ladies. Gents have secondary roles. Flying the plane, doing the police activities, everything is done by the female. That's a dream of Lady Land of Rokia Shekhawat Hossain. We must understand. So in that Lady Land, she imagines all those things, because she knows that ladies are not given any importance in the society. So she is trying to get importance. She is trying to project them into the forefront. You know, at that time you must think teaching other language is not at all there. Then you understand that she is getting the support or she is trying to learn English. Because there was a feeling that sentimental things would be created because ladies learning the language, mainly English language, which has got so many things which are not good for the girls, new ideas which are not correct for them. That was the thinking. To that, the family permitted, she got, and she learned and sought the book. So these people have contributed to the educational setup of Indian women. Tomorrow we will see some more details. Okay.